Hello, Michelle speaking.
Michelle is a woman dead in the room 203.
There's a body in the room. Okay, can you tell me anything about that?
Well, the girl 28 years old, is a Muslim girl. We was together there in hotel, and she killed herself.
Imagine meeting a millionaire through online dating, only for it to lead to a chilling tale of betrayal and tragedy. Today, we unravel the story of Nadine Aburas, whose experience with online dating took a nightmarish turn. We'll delve into the haunting details of her relationship with a millionaire and the tragic events that followed, exploring the terrifying case. Stay tuned to find out the shocking twists and turns that ultimately led to this tragic outcome, shedding light on the dangers lurking behind the seemingly bright world. Today's world is changing everything from what we do to whom we date. It's changing people's mindset and behavior. And this digital world is one of the reasons for the increase in crime cases and murders of innocent victims like Nadine Aburas. Alright, let's delve deeper into the haunting details of the case. Workers at the Future Inns Hotel in Cardiff Bay found Nadine Aburas' body in room 203 at about noon on New Year's Eve 2014. The ottoman had been moved from its usual spot. The blanket was pulled over her head, and the bathroom was cluttered with dirty towels and sheets. As soon as the authorities were informed, an international manhunt was launched. A search started to find Nadine's killer, and a terrifying situation soon unfolded. American entrepreneur Sami Almari was sentenced to 17 years in prison for the murder of his ex-girlfriend nearly 2 years later. Upon admitting to murder on the next day of his trial at Cardiff Crown Court, the New Yorker was given a life sentence with a minimum of 17 years behind bars. In an attempt to escape justice, Almari fled the Future Inns Hotel right after the murder. He went to Heathrow Airport and boarded a flight to Qatar. The next police operation was among the most complex that South Wales Police has ever faced. However, even though Almari was thousands of miles away, they managed to locate him in Tanzania and bring him to Wales so that he could be held answerable for his terrible acts. Detective Chief Inspector Gareth Morgan spoke with Almari multiple times while acting as the case's chief negotiator and manhunt investigating officer to keep him one step ahead of the law. Alright, let's go back in time a little and look at how the beautiful love story ended up in murder. In 2012, Almari met his victim Nadine through the online dating platform MuslimMatch.com. The seemingly rich businessman who flew over from America to see her was charming and caring and poured her with expensive gifts. After ending a previous marriage, Nadine's mother Andrea had pushed her daughter to try online dating. "Don't worry, there's someone for everyone," I reassured her. "There's the internet," I set her up. Talk of marriage arose as 45-year-old Almari and Nadine became closer. However, there was a cruel and jealous side to the outside. She had imagined that Almari would be the perfect husband, but he was far from it, and she would die in a few years. Through Skype and phone calls, they started a long-distance relationship, and in 2013, he took many trips to Cardiff. The next summer, Nadine went to see him in New York and later reported to the police that he had sexually assaulted her. In addition, he threatened her with texts, one of which read, "I've been calling you a lot. I'm not going to give up or stop now. I'll hurt you." After a fight with Nadine's brother, Almari had to leave the country when he paid her a visit around Christmas 2014. However, Almari secured a room at the Future Inns Hotel in Cardiff Bay rather than taking the train back to London and boarding the next flight from Heathrow to New York. He called Nadine and requested her to make her way to the hotel, telling her he wanted his phone and passport back because he had left them at her place of work. She obeyed, showing up at the hotel at 9:10 p.m. and making her way to Almari's room, which was number 203. Nadine and Almari left the hotel at 10 o'clock at night and took a taxi to the Lilo Grill House on City Road. They were shouting and arguing, according to restaurant staff, and their body language was not good. A staff member expressed that something wasn't right. After spending 15 minutes at the restaurant, they returned to the Future Inns at 11:10 p.m. This was the last time that Nadine was seen to be alive. Almari left the room shortly after midnight to go to the Gras Wiener Casino, which is nearby, and came back just before 1 in the morning. Almari finally checked out of the Future Inns Hotel at 3:05 a.m. He asked Peter Morris, the pub manager, for directions to the M4 before heading out. He claimed that because his sister was still asleep, he had placed a Do Not Disturb sign on the door. The duty manager went into room 203 at 12:20 p.m. on New Year's Eve and found Nadine's death. After a call from hotel staff, the police showed up there and started looking into the case. Leading the investigation, Detective Chief Inspector Morgan reported that at 12:30 p.m., a report was received regarding the finding of a dead female in a room at the Future Inns. The facts were not immediately clear, but it soon became clear that this was a murder. After some digging, it was found that Sammy Almari was the name on the booking form. Further investigation found that he was involved in a previous incident, indicating a link. His payment records linked to his card indicated he did not live in the UK, and a fast-check check verified he was going to Qatar. Morgan went on. It was an extremely rapid occurrence of events. After killing Nadine in Cardiff, Almari was on his way to Tanzania through Qatar by the next afternoon. It was incredible how quickly it took off. Police discovered a letter sent to Almari in the hotel room. It had been signed by Nadine, but it later came to light that Almari wrote it because of the letter's poor English and use of the American date form. Some say that the murder had been committed out of jealousy, partly fueled by texts that Nadine and her male friends exchanged. Before bringing her to the Future Inns Hotel, the prosecution claimed Almari had consumed a bottle of gin and 12 shots of tequila. He put her hands together, cleaned her body, strangled her, and then faked to be her suicide note, which said, "Sorry, we came to an end." After that, he went to the hotel lobby and inquired about how to withdraw £10,000 before visiting a nearby casino. Almari's low tolerance for frustration, which could lead to aggressive or violent outbursts, was made clear to the court as a sign of his dissociative personality disorder. In the murder trial, Roger Thomas QC, the prosecutor, stated before the judge that Mr. Almari had used a device to find what was inside the deceased phone. Commercially available devices are there that let one to see what is on another phone. Even if it seems unbelievable that someone might spy on someone else so easily, experts claim that software that allows remote access to mobile phone info is easy to find. When Ms. Aburas first met Almari in 2012, she would not have thought of the risk of being spied on by her boyfriend. Almari ran a business out of his apartment. Friends shared photos of him on Facebook that showed him looking happy and at ease while getting hugs from them, and others commented on how good he looked. But the pictures hid a serious inner conflict. He managed to survive the fall when he jumped off the Brooklyn Bridge on August 4, 2009. After being placed in a 7-month alcohol treatment program, he voluntarily checked himself into a hospital in September 2012 for another detox. He said he had delusions of working with the FBI, but UK police don't think this is the truth. "We have to deal with the legal framework for an international arrest," Detective Chief Inspector Morgan said. The authorities needed evidence to request help from the CPS and Interpol to issue a red notice, allowing the legal arrest of Sammy Almari. They knew getting this done in 3 hours was impossible, so they focused on gathering information about Almari's whereabouts and actions. While the police were figuring out how to reach Almari, things changed unexpectedly. The culprit used Nadine's photo to call the hotel, asking them to check room 203 because he claimed he was worried about his friend. He talked to a detective asking about Nadine. Then a negotiator representing the police stepped in as things got strange. Almari kept lying, saying he tried to help Nadine end her life and didn't know she was dead. He was worried about her burial. The negotiations aimed to arrest him safely and prevent harm to others. He lied about being in Havana, Cuba, while he was drunk in a room with another woman. He hinted at harming her, similar to what happened to Nadine, making it a risky situation for the authorities. Even though he was in Tanzania, finding his exact location was tough for the police. Almari said he was going to take his own life since he was unable to live without Nadine. Later he said Nadine was asking him to kill her when they returned to the hotel. Almari stated to the police that she said, "I've been waiting for this moment to visit the saints. I strangled her and I did so for over 5 minutes. I was scared." He later stated that Nadine was trying to kill herself, and when he left for the flight she was still breathing. He said, "I'm ending my life today to put an end to the conversation. My apologies to the family." In another phone call to Detective Chief Inspector Morgan, Almari initially claimed he would surrender at the American Embassy in Puerto Rico. Later, he admitted to lying and asked about the possibility of a death penalty in Cardiff. During the conversation, Almari expressed a wish for the death penalty, mentioning having a gun with 9 bullets and indicating he could shoot himself. He also claimed he didn't want to kill Nadine and said she asked for his help to die because he loved her. This call marked the last contact the police had with Almari. Detective Chief Inspector Morgan described the conversations as strange, noting Almari's shifting emotions from calm to furious. He believed Almari's instability might have been due to intoxication. The focus of the investigation was on gathering evidence in the UK. They found Almari's mobile phone after an incident with Nadine's brother and examined it for clues. They collected evidence from the internet, revealing Almari's possessive, jealous behavior and threatening voicemails. Despite challenges due to holidays and different time zones, they managed to secure an international arrest warrant. The police ensured the investigation continued smoothly while dealing with holiday schedules and handled the case professionally and sensitively, especially concerning the hotel. On January 2, 2015, Almari started posting on Nadine's Facebook profile and talking with her friends and relatives. Almari texted the mother of Miss Aburas as well. "I know how you feel. Let little go," he said. "I love her too. It's your fucking son." He then texted her, "I promised you Nadine my life. I see her soon. I can't live with this anymore. I love her." Detective Chief Inspector Morgan mentioned that dealing with the distress caused by the situation was tough. He explained that even though they couldn't control events in Tanzania, Almari kept using Nadine's phone, helping them locate him there. To get help, they reached out to the media and made a public appeal, which got a lot of attention in Tanzania. This pressure led to them receiving valuable information. To tackle the situation, South Wales police sent officers to Tanzania, and their work was praised internationally for their dedication in handling the case. Nadine's family was informed that they might have to wait a while for justice to be served because the police's search for Almari was not leading to results despite their best efforts. However, Almari was caught on January 19, 2015 in the Tanzanian town of Iringa, where he was found and had family. Almari's time on the run had ended just over a month after his UK escape, but there was still plenty to be done as his extradition wasn't set for March 23rd. Detective Chief Inspector Morgan was part of the team sent to Tanzania to bring Almari back to the UK and arrest him for Nadine's murder. He described Almari as charming, smart, and manipulative when they met. Almari seemed well-dressed and confident, giving the impression of being a successful businessman. But Morgan didn't think that was true. When they met Almari in Tanzania, he appeared friendly and talkative. However, upon reaching Heathrow Airport and being charged with murder, Almari's attitude changed. After several initial hearings at Cardiff Crown Court, where Almari entered not guilty pleas to charges of murder, a trial date was set for October 19, 2016, with a view that it would take a few weeks for it to end. However, on November 3rd, Almari was sentenced after changing his plea from not guilty to guilty on the first day of the trial. The judge also noted that Almari had a mental illness at the time of the murder and that there was no evidence of planning. However, she stated, quote, "At the time of the murder, you consumed quite a lot of alcohol, which would have raised your impulsivity, emotional instability, and aggression. Sammy Almari's cruel and brutal acts took the future away from her, leaving her family with a great distress that resulted from her loss," stated David Wooler, Senior Crown Prosecutor for Crown Prosecution Service Wales after the sentence. The court heard the tragic victim impact statement of Nadine's mother, Nadine Aburas. She went on to say, quote, "By taking Nadine, the accused took away the glue that made this family. We gave him approval to be part of our family, but it took away my child instead. Nothing in life will ever be the same. No sentence that could be given to this man could compare to the sentence he has given to us. He has destroyed us." She thanked the police and Crown Prosecution Service for their sincere efforts in arresting Almari in a statement she delivered outside the court following the sentencing. The chilling story of Nadine Aburas' tragic death started innocently with an online relationship with a supposed millionaire, leading to a shocking sequence of events, betrayal, and the heartbreaking loss of an innocent life. Crime related to online dating has grown by a shocking 450% in the last 5 years in the UK alone. Meeting a stranger is nothing out of the ordinary, but there are criminals and a dark side to the internet that many of us are not aware of. So Nadine's story shows the risks of online relationships. It started with excitement but led to heartbreak and a terrible end, highlighting the risks of connecting with strangers online. That's the end of Nadine's story. This case acts as a reminder to be careful when meeting people online. So stay safe and curious. Until then, take care.